What's up, guys? Today I'm going to answer a question that I get all the time, which is, does transplanted hair fall out? This is a very complicated answer, but a very important one to understand. So before I answer that, I'm just going to play a little Stevie Ray Vaughan for all the people that like my music and don't just watch my hair transplant videos. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm her little lover boy. So, transplanted hair will fall out, but it will only fall out if it would have fallen out anyway. So here's the reason why, if you ask me, is my transplanted hair going to fall out? I actually can't tell you completely yes or no, because chances are a little bit of it will fall out, but it also might not fall out. It kind of depends on what's going to actually happen to the hair that's been transplanted, if it had stayed in the same area. So for instance, if you take the transplanted hair from around here, around the back of your head where they usually take it from, and then plant it on the top, well, if that hair had never been transplanted, what would have actually happened to it? That's something you really don't know completely. You've seen probably a lot of guys who are older, and actually a lot of the hair around their head has gotten quite thin as well. So not just on the top, but a lot of the hair around the sides of their head has also gotten thinner, just kind of thinned out a bit, or also miniaturized, where it's the actual hair itself has gotten thinner. Well, if that was going to happen to them and they had transplanted that hair, then that same hair that they had transplanted also, some of it would have fallen out and it would have gotten thinner, and also it would have miniaturized. So whatever was going to happen to that hair on the side of your head if you hadn't got it transplanted is the same thing that's going to happen if you do get it transplanted. So all the hair around the side of your head might all fall out. You don't know. I mean, it probably won't all fall out, but it gets thinner on some guys, that's for sure. So if that was the case and you had transplanted that hair, I'm sorry, but you're out of luck. That hair on top of your head also is going to be thinner. If you were going to keep that really thick hair around the sides of your head for the rest of your life anyway, well then it's going to stay thick and just as thick on the top of your head. So that's the answer for whatever it's worth to that question. Will the hair that's transplanted fall out? Now, I thought I would bring Panda here today to ask her a couple of questions unrehearsed about my hair transplant. Has anybody, Panda, ever asked me if I had a hair transplant?
No, never did.
Not one person, right?
Not even one person.
So not one person that doesn't know that I've had a hair transplant has ever asked me if I had a hair transplant. What about this? So I've started using hair thickener in my hair because I just think it looks awesome. I mean, my hair right now, you can see here, it looks pretty amazing. Like, you would never know I've really ever had a hair fall out in my life. So I started using some hair thickening products. Has anyone ever in person asked or even given any slight inclination that I was using any kind of thickening products in my hair?
No, never happened.
Yeah, no, never happened. So I haven't pre-quizzed her on these questions, but so what about what's your opinion, Panda, on my hair transplants and kind of that whole, because you met me when I think I just had my second hair transplant.
Yeah, just right after your second.
Right after my second hair transplant.
Yeah.
So what was your thought? Like, did you think that I'd had a hair transplant at that time, or what was your thought? And what's your thoughts since then, basically? I'm curious. I've never gotten from a girl's perspective on camera.
No, I really never really noticed his hair, actually. I did notice there was a little bit red, because that was right after his surgery. But I didn't know why. Then he told me he got the surgery. And I never asked what happened to her hair. I thought he was just having an allergy or whatever.
Yeah, got a sunburn or something like that.
Yeah, got a sunburn or something like that. But I didn't notice anything about his hair was fake or whatever. Yeah, but it still looked really good on him.
Yeah, and now it's pretty amazing, right? Like the actual, like when I put this hair thickening product especially in, it's like just ridiculous,
Even before he put this stuff on it, just for daily life, I wouldn't think this guy is losing his hair or whatever. No, not at all. He put this on is just because he's on stage and the light would.
Yeah, I started using some hair thickener in my hair when I was on stage because there were really bright lights, and so it just looks so much better having that hair thickening product that it just very thick looking. So I started using that, but I still go out regularly without that stuff in my hair as well. But honestly, if you want your hair to look absolutely incredible, then use some hair thickening products because it's really incredible what it'll do. So if you guys have any more questions, please leave them below. And by the way, I never encourage anyone to get a hair transplant. So if you think that that's what these videos are doing in any way, I am not encouraging you to get a hair transplant. A lot of people are not good candidates for hair transplants. But I'm more just putting it out there that this is an option, something that if you want to go through and you can financially afford it, it might be something that you want to do. For me, if I have one regret about hair transplantation, it's actually that I wish that I would have worn a wig before I ever started getting a hair transplant. Because, to be honest, I was really frustrated with the fact that I was going bald when I was like around 21, 22 years old, quite young. And so, at that time, I don't think getting a hair transplant would have been a good idea, but instead I just went years and years onwards, just being very frustrated with my hair. So I think probably at that time, the best thing to do would have just been like throw on some kind of wig that when I was doing shows or, out in some public place where I needed to be photographed or seen, that I could have had this hair that I wanted, and then just kind of wear a baseball cap or whatever the rest of the time. So I think that's the only real regret that I have, but I think I still would have personally gone the whole hair transplant route and done exactly what I did, and gotten these 3 hair transplants in order to have hair that that I wanted to be able to wear daily and on stage and all that kind of thing. So just a little update, and I hope this helps answer your questions. Talk to you guys soon.